All right. I'm not sure I'm going blurry here. There we go. Not sure what's going on with my camera. I keep going blurry. Hello everyone, Michelle here with Pink and Maine. I thought I would go live today. I mentioned it in our newsletter earlier in the week. It's about 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Friday, TGIF. Looking forward to the weekend. I hope you are too. And I thought we'd make some fun Valentine cards. But I have something fun to show you before we start creating, and I'll go hands down and show you that first. So thanks everyone if you're joining me. Let's have some creative fun this afternoon. All right, the first thing that I wanted to share, I'm not sure if anyone has joined me yet. Hopefully we'll have some people join in. Hello, hello, thanks for joining. Is I wanted to show you one of the die sets that's in the Crafty Courtyard kit for February. So February's Crafty Courtyard kit, if you're a subscriber, and there's plenty of time to still subscribe, I have a feeling we may sell out of this one. It's called Pop Flowers. You get 2 sets of dies. This is one set here with these 2 dies, and then you get the dies that coordinate with the sentiment stamp set. But this is the Pop Flowers dies, and I was showing it in the video on the 1st where we revealed everything that's in the subscription for February. And I wanted just to quickly show you, because it's hard to describe what it does. So it's called Pop Flowers for a reason. If you can see here on my panel that I've cut out the top die, which is kind of like a wreath, and I've just foiled one of our black toner sheets with the new ombre pastel foil. So I made my own foil paper, and I thought it would be pretty to put it behind there. See how you can see the foil? So part of the die cuts out. You see the little leaves here, the hearts, the dots, the centers of the flowers. But what you do with the other flowers is you just kind of pop up their petals. You just pop them up. They don't cut all the way out. And the little butterflies as well. So you just pop up the little wings of the butterfly. So that's why it's called Pop Flowers, because it just kind of pops out of the paper. So you're going to be able to see underneath them a little bit. I'm just popping little wings. Had a couple pieces that didn't fall out yet. And then this flower, the petals just kind of stick up. And you just go around the flower and pop those little petals up. Give some dimension. Hi, Joy. Hello, Joan. Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. This beautiful Friday afternoon. The weekend is just about here. I hope you all have some great weekend plans. Maybe to include some crafting. I'm just popping up all the little petals and the butterfly wings. And once I have them all popped up, I'll show you the panel again. So see, it just gives like some really fun dimension. It'll still go flat when you put it on your card and you put it in an envelope. But then since you've popped them up, they'll just kind of pop up a little bit when you pull it out. Hey, Kendra. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. So this is one of the dies from the February Crafty Courtyard kit, the Pop Flower dies. I just wanted to show how fun they are, because you just look at the die and you can't really tell what it does. But look at that fun dimension that you can create on a card. So that's one of the dies. And then the other one, it cuts out half of a butterfly, but the wings, you can pop that up as well, like the side of the butterfly here. And then the other side of the butterfly are more little flower petals. Hey, Melissa. So I'm going to pop these up as well so I can show you. You just go around and you kind of just pop the little petals right up. Anyone with any fun plans for the weekend? I know I'll be here at Pink and Main most of the weekend. I always have so much to do. But I enjoy it, so it's not like work all the time. Yeah, so you just take a moment and you go around and you pop those little petals up, and they just give that little extra dimension on the paper. Again, you can pop the little butterfly wings. And then from the kit, I just cut a piece of the shiny blue metallic paper that's in there. And you can put it behind there, and it just looks really pretty. You can see the blue under the flower petals. So this is the set of pop flower dies that are in the February Crafty Courtyard kit. And like I mentioned, there's still plenty of time to subscribe to get the February kit. But I have a feeling we will sell out of this one. Really like these dies. Hope everyone else does as well. But I just wanted to show you those dies and what they do before we made some cards. Because it's one thing to describe, you know, the petals popping up, but it's another thing to actually see it and see how pretty they are. All right. Let me get my little card pieces together here. I thought we would make a few Valentine's cards. And I'm using the stamp of the month from December. I believe it's I'll Always Love You, or All My Love, something with owl in the title. And I'm going to do some foiling on a few of the cards, because why not? I love to foil things. All right, I've got everything ready to go for this card. So let's do our foiling first. Let's get the foiling out of the way. Get all my pieces. Valentine's Day will be here before you know it. I can't believe it's February already. I thought, oh gosh, it's time to make Valentines. So we're going to be using some of our stickies, and that's our adhesive transfers. And also foilable. I've got foilable sheet here. I believe this is Heart of Hearts foilable panels. It's one of our newer Valentine ones. And I cut it in a heart shape with our double stitched heart dies. Hi everyone that's joining us. Thanks so much for joining me on this gorgeous Friday afternoon. So let's foil that. And before we foil, we just want to dust off the back of our foil as well as our foilable. Just make sure there's no dust or debris. Simple as that. Our foilables are professionally printed, very high quality toner print printed foilables. They foil perfectly every time. You don't need to jump through a lot of hoops with our foilables. You just simply put them in the transfer folder, put the foil over the top, and then run it through a ink machine or a laminator. Oh, we got to turn the ink machine on. It will not work without the machine on. Okay, so that's going to heat up just for a moment. It won't take long, so we'll wait to foil that. While we're waiting, we can get started with our stickies, the adhesive transfers. And I'm using the Fun Hearts stickies. So there's different heart designs. And these stickies come with dies that coordinate with them. So it comes with the plain heart, and it also comes with a scalloped heart that goes behind it. So I've cut out both of those. So for the stickies, they have the black printing on the top of them, so you can see what the design is going to look like. But that black is not going to transfer to your paper. Only the sticky adhesive is going to transfer. So I'm going to peel, there's a backing there, I'm going to peel the backing away, and you don't need that. So you can throw the backing away. I'm going to place it on my paper, just like so. And now it's like a rub-on transfer, but we're going to run it through the ink machine to give a nice smooth pressure to transfer that onto the paper. So I'm just going to remove my foil piece. And you don't need heat to apply the stickies. You could also apply these onto the paper with your die cut machine. You just run it through. You just want a nice smooth pressure to apply the adhesive. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on the paper as well. I just remove the backing. And these stickies are a lot of fun because not only can you add foil to them, but you can add glitter and flock and embossing powder. You can add anything like that to these stickies because they are an adhesive design. And I'll show you that in a moment. So I've just put them in the transfer folder. I'm going to run them through the ink machine. Doesn't need to be heat. The heat won't hurt it, but it doesn't have to be heat to do these adhesive transfers. We just want the pressure. You don't want to use like the popsicle sticks that you use to do rub-ons with. Because it's adhesive, you can kind of smush and slide that adhesive around. So you don't want to use like a rough stick or anything to rub these on. You want a nice smooth pressure from like a ink machine or like your die cut machine. Melissa, right now the dies are only available in the Crafty Courtyard kit. If we do have leftovers, once the subscription is finished on the 15th of the month, towards the end of the month, we will sell them separately. But right now they're exclusive to the Crafty Courtyard kit. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and foil our foilable heart. And I'm using the ombre pink teal foil for that. Everything's sticking with static cling here. I just want to make sure that I have my heart straight because I kind of want those stripes to go straight across. There we go. We'll just run that through. And while that's running through, we're going to work with our stickies. So now all you have to do is carefully peel back the top layer of the stickies. And this piece with the black print, that's a throwaway piece. There's nothing on that. The black ink does not transfer. I don't know if I can hold it in a certain light that you can see the shine of that adhesive that's in the same design that was printed on it there. You see it's shiny? That's adhesive. So you don't want to touch this because you don't want to get oils and dirt on it. It is sticky adhesive, so anything will stick to it. Like I said, you could pour glitter over this or flock. We are going to foil ours. So go ahead and put the foil on this one. And then we will peel this one off. Again, this top portion is a throwaway piece. I know I've had questions. People think they weren't working because it didn't leave the black print on the paper, but it's just the adhesive that we're transferring onto the paper. It's not that black print. And then I'm going to use another piece of foil for this one. I'm just going to lay it on there, and then I'm going to run it through my ink machine. Let's take our heart out first. We'll let that cool and then reveal it in a moment. Again, these adhesive transfers don't require heat, so you can run them through your ink machine on setting 0 and they'll work just fine. They just need pressure. You can also run these through your die cut machine to adhere the foil to the adhesive. It just gives a nice pressure to push that foil down onto the adhesive part. All right, let's take a look at our heart. And that came out beautiful. We've got our foiled heart. And then if you'd like, you can save this piece and transfer it onto a solid toner printed sheet. We have black, and we also have lots of color varieties of toner sheets. Take these out. Yes, you can subscribe all the way up to the 15th and get the February kit. After the 15th, if we still have kits left, you can still subscribe and get the February kit. If they're removed from the website, then you'll know that we have sold out. But as long as that kit remains on the site, we do still have them. Isn't that gorgeous? So I just peel the foil away, and we've got a beautiful little heart there that says love. And then that was with our Fairy Wings blue, and this is our sparkle blue foil. I thought I'd use 2 different color blue foil. And there we go. I love the adhesive transfers because it gives you a lot of variety of things you can do, because you can really apply them anywhere on your paper. So for foiling the foilable, which is the toner printed design that we used on this heart, this was toner printed with black toner ink. You have to use heat to apply the foil. With the adhesive transfers, because they're adhesive that we're adhering to the paper, you do not need heat, you just need pressure. So say you can use your die cut machine with these, the stickies, or a ink machine or laminator, but you don't have to have the heat on. It just requires pressure because it's adhesive. Okay. So I thought we would make a fun card. I saw Jennifer McGuire made a card like this. It's going to be like a fun little pop-up card. So I've die cut my heart, the same heart that I cut my foilable out of. I die cut out of the front of my card. And our double stitched heart dies have stitching on the inside and outside. So I don't know if you can see, but there's stitching around this heart as well. And there's also stitching on our foilable piece because there's stitching on both sides of the die cut line. So this heart is going to fit right within this heart that we cut out of the card front. But we have to make a little pop-up piece that glues inside here. So I've got a piece of cardstock, and I made a cheat sheet because I knew I would not remember every measurement for this. I'll put it right up there. So my piece of white cardstock here that we're going to pop our heart up with is 1.5 inches by 5 inches long. And then we're scoring at every 1.25 inches. So you score at 1.25 inches, you score at 2.5, and then you score at 3 3/4 inches. Okay, Nina asks, with the adhesive sheets, is the same kind of foil as the toner sheets? Yes, I've used the same kind of foil that I used with the toner sheets. I have not tried using hot foil with the adhesive sheets. I'm not sure if that would work because we just sell the foil for the toner sheets. I have not tried the hot foil, but that might be something I'll try so that I can test it out. But they do work beautifully with our transfer foils that work with the toner printed designs. Okay, so basically what we're doing on the inside of our card here is we're making up a little box that's going to pop open when the card is open, but then lay flat when the card is closed. Okay? So I'm going to take one end of my scored strip of paper, and I'm just going to apply some adhesive to it. And I'm going to stick it right in the middle, right where my card is going to fold there. Make sure my card folds. And then the other end flap here, I don't want to add tape here because it's going to adhere to where I've got this top part of the heart cut out. So I just want to put adhesive on the card front here where this piece is going to lay. So I'm just going to use the white paper kind of as a guide here so I can see right in this space where that's going to stick. When I saw her make this card, this type of card, I was like, oh wow, I've got to try that. You know, some things you see and you're just like, oh, I got to try it. So fun. So I'm gonna fold it flat, like I'm gonna hold it flat, and then I'm gonna close my card down on it to adhere it. That way I know it'll go perfectly flat, and then it pops open when we open our card. How fun is that? Well, it doesn't look too fun yet because it kind of just looks weird, right? So now we're going to add our heart to this piece here. So you see this square rectangle piece right here is where we want to put adhesive, not on the part up here that's by the heart. That's the part that's inside the card. But this square right here that's exposed, we're going to put adhesive on that. Okay, so I'm gonna hold my card down and place my heart inside the die cut heart of the card front, and then I'm just gonna press it down. And now we have that fun, like, little pop-up design. That is so cool. Like I said, I saw Jennifer McGuire do this on a video, and I thought, I really like that technique. I've got to try it myself. So it's so fun when you try new things, and they work, right? This is the first time I've tried it, and it works. And it's really kind of a simple design, but it's you know, it's really cool. Okay, but that's not all we're gonna do here on our card. We gotta fancy it up a little bit. So I have a couple of the scallop heart dies that come with the Fun Hearts stickies. I'm going to put those on the two sides of the cards there. I've got one piece of foam tape so that I'm not gluing it down to my heart that moves around. I'm just gluing it down to the card front. But I want it to pop up with a little dimension too, so put some foam tape. And I'll put it there. So the measurements for the card, I have an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've cut one of our double stitched heart dies out of the front of the pink card base. And then out of one of our foilables, I've cut that same heart. So it fits right within there. Our little box on the inside is a strip of paper that's 1 1/2 by 5 inches. And then you score it at an inch and a quarter. So you score it at 1 1/4 inches, at 2 1/2 inches, and then at 3 3/4 inches. That's where you get the score lines for the little box on the inside that kind of pops that heart up. So when you open it, the heart list pops up on the inside. Really fun. And we're just decorating the outside. I've put 2 hearts there, and that's where I'm going to put our little adhesive transfer hearts. I'm going to add them onto those scalloped hearts. Okay, it's our card so far. And then I had one other heart to add our little owl to. I just got to decide where it should live. And put them right there in the center. Okay, so I'm just going to put some adhesive just on the sides of this heart because I don't want it to stick to the heart that moves underneath. So I'll put just some adhesive on the edge. Okay. There we go. So we've got our little row of hearts at the bottom, and that middle one, it doesn't cover up my words or anything too much, so I like that. And then when you open the card, we've got that pop-up heart in the center. All right, thank you so much. This is a fun little Valentine's. And then I've got one of our owls from the stamp set, and I was just gonna put that right in the center. There we go. There's our first little Valentine. That's so cute. I gotta give this to someone special. I love that. Okay. So this time we'll make a red card. We'll do some more foiling. We're going to make a fun shaker card. And all of my cards that we're making today, they take parts and pieces from each other and create other cards. And what I mean by that is, so we're going to use the piece of the foilable that I cut the heart out for the first card. So we're going to use that foilable and we're going to create a shaker window with it. So let's add some foil to it first. We're going to use our shattered red foil. You just put the foilable printed side facing up, and then you put the foil on top of it, pretty side facing up. Simple as that. Our foils are very easy to do. You don't need any extra steps. You don't need any shims, any kind of special stuff. Just put it in a carrier sheet or a transfer folder and run it through your laminator or ink machine. Takes a few seconds to run through. And it's ready to go. Nothing extra needs to be done to this. It's already foiled. All we have to do is we have to be patient and we have to let it cool off. That's the hardest part, is being patient and waiting to reveal what's underneath the foil. But you want to wait till it cools off because the toner ink that's printed on the paper, it heats up again when you put it through the ink machine and it gets a little melty, and that's what the foil sticks to. So you want to make sure it's completely cool before you start to peel that foil off. And there we have beautiful red hearts. If you wanted to use the same color foil the whole sheet and then die cut, I recommend die cutting after you foil, And I don't mind questions at all. Ask away. If I don't see them, I apologize. Sometimes they scroll by quickly if there's lots of questions, but I love answering questions. That's not a problem. If you're going to do this, I would recommend foiling and then die cutting, because you might not can see it on the camera, but because this is a stitched die, the little stitched areas, the foil has a hard time like getting down into those little stitched areas. So I have a few areas around the stitches that aren't foiled perfectly. They're really hard to see, but if I look carefully, I can see it. So I always recommend foiling and then die cutting, because your dies do like put an impression or a little indentation in the paper that makes it a little more difficult to foil. Again, you still have a lot of foil and a little bit of a heart pattern to this. You can use a solid toner sheet, and you can use this foil for another project. You never waste the foil. Okay, so now we're going to make this into a shaker window. So we need a piece of acetate, which you can barely see, so clear. And we're going to glue it to the back of our frame here. So I'm just going to put some adhesive around to glue this acetate sheet down. Ooh, a little noisy tape runner. Does a lot of clicking. Some of them are a little more quiet. Yeah. All right. Oh, hey, Judy. I see Judy's joined us. Thanks, everyone, for joining in today. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're having a nice Friday afternoon. All right, so now we have our A2 size card base, and we have our frame. So we have the beginnings of our shaker card. All I need to do is I need to add some foam adhesive to the back of my frame so that it sticks up off the card and all my shaker bits and pieces have room to move around. Not sure if I have enough foam here to complete my project. Little joke. Crafty humor. This is our big giant roll of foam tape. You get 108 feet on this. So this lasts a good long time. I actually just finished using one. I thought, oh wow, I went through a roll already. So I'm just gonna set it right here for right now to make sure I get enough foam. And with the shaker cards, when you're adding your foam adhesive, you want to make sure you completely encompass the frame. You don't want any like open areas or holes around it where the shaker pieces can shake out of your card. You definitely don't want that. I'm going to peel this up just a little bit because I didn't get it. It went crooked on me a little. And I don't want to see the foam too much through my window. You know, sorry, dealing with sticky things and... All right, let's trim that a little. It goes off the edge. Okay, let's go down this side. Our foam tape cuts pretty nicely with just regular scissors as well, which is nice. All right, I'm gonna go across. I need a little bit more. Does anyone else like making shaker cards? Is there anyone out there never made a shaker card? I think they're fun. There's something too that the recipient, when you give them, you know, they're kind of amazed that you made that yourself. There we go. So I have completely covered my frame, so nothing is going to shake out of place. Now I can move the foam tape out of the way. I ordered the foam tape, and then we got it in, and we had to order special boxes to be able to ship it. I thought, oh my gosh, some things you don't think about, you know, you order something, you're like, oh, I love the foam tape. Tried it out, and then we got it, and the girls were like, Michelle, what are we shipping this in? Oh, better order boxes too. Okay, so basically for a shaker card, you need a frame. You got acetate here so that nothing falls out the front. Here it is from the front side. We've die cut a heart. You could cut any shape out of that. You just create a frame with it. And then foam tape. Like I said, you don't want any holes in your foam tape around your frame. That way nothing shakes out of place when you shake it and put it together. And then people do them differently. I always like to add my shaker pieces to my card, and then I'll put the frame on top of it. Instead of, some people add their shaker pieces inside the frame and then try to center their card on top of it. I can see better to center the frame, at least in my opinion. So I'm gonna put my shaker pieces, and these are just like big giant glitter. I think I might have picked these up at a craft store. It's just like big giant pieces of glitter. You can use sequins or little clay pieces, whatever you have that'll fit in your little shaker window. And I want to make sure they're all within that frame area. Okay. So I've got my shaker pieces on top of the card there. Don't sneeze. They'll go everywhere. And then I'm just going to remove the release paper from the foam tape. I love how easily the release paper comes off of our foam tape too. It's not that overly gummy, sticky stuff that I've tried before and was so frustrating. The paper just releases real easily. Okay. Now we're just going to center our frame on top of the card base and stick it down. And I just like to press all the way around, make sure the foam is adhered all the way around the card. And then there we go. We got all our little shaker bits in there. I put a lot in there, so a lot of stuff can shake around and move around. Okay, we'll see you soon, Kendra. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I caught a little hair in my foam tape. We'll just snip that off. There we go. All right, so there's the shaker card. And then the last thing I want to do for this card is I want to add our two little owls on the branch. I'm just going to put them at the bottom of the heart there, kind of going across the bottom. And I have a sentiment to stick on as well. So shaker cards are fairly simple to make. You just have to know just a couple of steps in making your frame, in putting your foam tape around it. But they give that fun little moving element to the card. And sometimes when things just don't seem to be going together nicely, sometimes you just have to step away from it for a little bit. You just step away, maybe pull something else out that catches your attention, and then come back to it later with a fresh mind. Yeah, you could add a second piece of acetate on the back of your frame as well. That's a good idea too. Okay, so I've added my little sentiment. It says, "Love you with all my heart." And we've got our two little loving owls there. And that's our second card, little shaker card. So fun. I'm going to go ahead and click the ink machine off. Push it out of the way a little bit because we're not going to do any more foiling. There we go. And in my small little space here where I am, just that little amount of heat and the heat of the lights around me, it gets warm in here. All right. Our next card we're going to make is a little shape card. So once again, I said we're using parts and pieces from the other cards we made. So we've got this pink heart here, and that is from our first card where we cut it out of the card front. And then I've just cut other nesting hearts from the double stitched heart dies. And I even cut my card base with the dies to make this little heart card base. So what you have to do, I'll use the full heart here to show you. I didn't bring the die in here, and I should have. But when you run the, I'll flip it over so I can show visually. So if you imagine that the red heart is our die, when you put it on your card base, you're going to fold your card base, and on the folded edge, you're going to leave the die hanging over the folded edge just a little bit. That way it doesn't cut all the way, if that makes sense. So when you hang the die over the edge of the folded card base, it's going to cut everything else so that the pieces that don't cut, they stay together and you create your little card base. So now all we have to do is we're going to glue down our heart shapes. I'm going to use my liquid glue for this, just kind of quick and easy. We are temporarily out of our glue right now, so I got like a bottle and a half or 2 bottles left, and I'm trying to conserve it the best I can so I don't completely run out. That's an awful feeling. But also, since I'm gluing, this red is our glitter paper. Since I'm gluing this cardstock to glitter paper, I like to use a liquid adhesive because I just feel that it holds on to that glitter paper a little better than the tape runners. Because the glitter paper has, you know, some texture to it. Now I could center these hearts, or I think I'm going to have them like all lined up at the bottom, just kind of going up like that instead of centering them. I kind of like that. And I love pinks and reds together. They make a really good color combination, especially for Valentine's Day. So just using the double-stitched heart dies, I just cut out the different varying sizes. And we're just layering them together on our little heart card base. Sometimes I miss being in school for Valentine's Day. I remember way back in elementary school, we used to have to make a little box or a bag that we would keep in the classroom, and we'd put our name on it and decorate it. And then on Valentine's Day, everyone would bring in little Valentines, and you'd put them in everyone's little box or bag. I loved getting all those little Valentines. It was so much fun. So here's our card front so far. I like these little rising hearts. They're a little heart card base. And then all I'm going to do is going to be simple and sweet. I've got one of the little owls colored, just kind of pink, and he's sitting on top of a chocolate. So I'm going to add him there, just a little off center. And then I've got, guess who's thinking of you? I added a little foam tape to the back of both of these pieces just to give some little dimension. And there we go. There's a little heart card, the little owl. Just simple and sweet, just something a little different. You give a little shaped card. So that is all I've got for this afternoon. Thought we'd just pop in and make some fun little Valentine cards. We've got a fun little pop-up heart card here. And then we made a cute little shaker card. That little shaking glitter inside. And a little heart-shaped card. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Friday, a great weekend, and until I see you next time, keep living the creative life.